They should get Imagineers. Speaking of Imagineers and really having an open mind, Terrence, the Disney Parks Mom Panel search for 2019 is coming.
Yeah.
September 5th. I'm doing it.
This is from the Disney website. Do you love Disney? Do you consider yourself a vacation planning pro? Do your family and friends come to you to help plan a magical Disney vacation? No, nobody else. Nobody else submit to this. Terrence and I are the only people that are allowed.
I get you.
Terrence and I are the only people allowed. You're my wife. I tell you. I'm kidding. Yes, of course you're gonna submit it. So is Beverly.
Help our odds.
It's gonna be great. DisneyParksMomPanel.com. They must also be sticklers when it comes to grammar, spelling, and punctuation.
Yes, I understand that.
Yes, I understand that.
And always mention them. Never mind. I'll tell you guys off air. Secrets.
You have like insider yawns?
Well, I just happened to re-listen to the Disney Moms Panel episode.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize it was coming up. And so it's like fresh in my mind, all the stuff she said.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool.
I did as well. And I'm also going to hit her up.
You really are doing research.
I'm like, can you please just tell someone to let me in just once?
I don't think that's how it works.
Yeah.
So she has to know people. Come on.
We asked her that, and didn't we?
On the air.
Oh.
Bro, we both got to get in. That's what I'm saying.
That's going to be insane.
But Terrence is, I mean, I hate to admit it, but he is
a protected class, and so
I was not going to say that, but
No.
he's gotten to the third round twice.
No, I got to the third round the first year and the second round. But I think.
Oh, you're going down?
But you know what happened? I'm going down. I'm not going to get it.
You're getting deranked.
Like this time, I can't even put it in. But you know what I think happened, and this is what I'm going to hold on to, so that I don't feel bad about myself.
Okay.
Is that
part of your link to Tupac?
Shut up. Part of the rule is that you have to. You can't. I'm sorry. You cannot wear something that's trademarked or something that they can't show. And I had my Churro Castle shirt on in the video for round 2, and I bet that's the reason why I didn't get in.
Maybe
because they're like, this dude's awesome, but
I ruined it for you.
We can't put this out.
Yeah,
there.
so now you're blaming us. Cool.
It's not your fault. It's my fault. My board choices.
Starting in September at Steakhouse 55 restaurant at the Disneyland Hotel, it will offer an afternoon tea service dedicated to all of Disney's baddest villains. It's kind of cool.
Okay.
Classic cinematic inspiration spreads the entirety of the tea service menu, from a 101 Dalmatians salad with black and white slices of dragon fruit. I don't know if I would have... Yes, I'll have the 101 Dalmatians salad, please, with the goblet of dog's blood inside.
What is with you and killing animals today?
Delicious.
It's fun. To tiered trays of sweets, savories, and scones. There's no need to fear Oogie Boogie's horrors, Horrors, when he's just a chocolate-dipped strawberry.
Horrors.
Oogie Boogie's a chocolate-dipped strawberry?
Terrence is. Or Dr. Facilier. What's a Facilier?
I don't know.
With a voodoo cookie. Oh, maybe it's the Princess and the Frog.
Yeah, Tiana movie.
Yeah. Anyway, check that out. That's kind of cool. A tray of tea sandwiches provides nods to Gaston and Scar by way of a boast-worthy prime rib and Serrano ham sandwich. That sounds pretty good, dude.
So, I'm sorry, maybe I missed this. Is this just for Halloween time?
It doesn't necessarily say, but I would imagine so, because it's a villain and it's
pretty cool.
Starting September 7th, it doesn't. There's really no end date, which I would imagine it's after Halloween.
Cool.
Let's not do Guardians of the Galaxy news. Let's do that for the Secret Show. This is kind of cool. Our friends at the Van Eaton Gallery did another Disney auction. It was called That's from Disneyland. They sold over 2 days. They sold over 900 items of Disneyland memorabilia collected by Richard Kraft, who's a Hollywood agent. And here's some of the things that were sold and the prices they were sold for. Jose, the animatronic bird from Walt Disney's Enchanted Tiki Room. How much do you think a working Jose animatronic?
Working?
I mean, I imagine it was working.
$8,500.
$400,025.
Whoa.
$425,500.
Are you kidding me?
That's the price of a house.
A Skyway bucket, the original vehicle, the Skyway. Yeah. How much do you think that sold for?
Well, looking at that, I would say $84,217.
$402. Oh my God. $400,500. The Jose animatronic sold for more than a Skyway bucket.
Wow.
The Peter Pan ride vehicle.
400.
350,000.
253,000. And an original haunted mansion stretching portrait.
Oh God, 500,000. No, 400,000.
$400,001.
You jerk! You're that guy.
I've never known who that guy is. Now $402,500. Terrence wins.
I won. I won the dishwasher and the trip to Aruba.
You're the worst.
You are the worst. The Skyway sale broke a record for the highest price ever paid for a Disneyland ride vehicle.
Wow.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
What do you do with a ride vehicle? Like, I mean,
You sit in it, bro, and you
Whatever you
go,
want.
hell yeah.
what you do is you get two, and then you put a table in between them, and you make like a booth.
You crash them together.
So someone in the chat, Nick, is saying that they sold a garbage can at this thing. For how much? How much do you think a garbage can went for? Don't look at the
I
chat.
saw it already.
Dang it. $15,000
A garbage
for a
can.
Disneyland garbage can.
How much do you think a Dumbo ride vehicle went for?
Oh man. Okay, well,
You
it's
said the other one
less,
broke.
So
You go first.
$1.
$2.
$483,000.
Wow.
48. Are you kidding me?
480 for a Dumbo.
What do
That's
you
pretty
do
dope.
with that?
No, that's an awesome.
But what do you do with that?
That's what I just
man.
said. You make a booth in your house, like an eating booth.
That's my couch and my
So
bed.
I'm looking through like they have a
We
price
don't have a
page,
house.
and they just have lot numbers, but so I don't know what any of it means. But there's the prices next to them. There's a lot of stuff under $1,000. Like there's a lot of stuff that went for 150, 700, 425.
I wonder how long this auction takes.
So it's 2 days. So that's cool. Actually, there's a lot under even 2,000. So it doesn't take a lot to own a little piece of Disney history, unless you want to sit in it.
Right.
That kind of basically the rule of thumb apparently is if you put your butt in it, it's going to cost at least six figures. So there's that.
Yeah. Dang.
Okay, and then two more things to talk about. The Millennium Falcon ride. There's apparently a lot that is known about what's going to happen in the Falcon ride, and they're already changing it.
Okay.
Because, of course, it seems like they're rushing into production, and they're doing test plays.
Okay.
They're like bringing people in to
how
Glendale
cool.
to do test plays, and they're finding that it's really not working as planned. So they're adjusting it. It's a completely interactive motion simulator attraction in which the ship's flight is impacted by the rider's decisions, which you
Okay.
can already tell
It's
is
not.
a bad
That's
idea.
a bad idea.
This is a quote from theme park expert Jim Hill, which we should get on the podcast because he's a theme park expert and we're not. He says there are 6 seats inside of the pilot compartment. In order to ensure that this thing has decent capacity, there are 7 pods in operation at any one time. So that's 42 people who are piloting the Millennium Falcon. I'm hearing this is Jim Hill saying, I'm hearing a 3.5-minute ride cycle. Again, you're seated in the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon, but you're looking out from that window array we've all seen from the film. In order to pull off that effect, again, the capsule moves in conjunction with the imagery. You're looking out basically into a circular space, sort of a half dome
Okay.
kind of thing. So, but you have 42 people at one time in 3.5-minute cycles. So they're saying it has a maximum of 840 riders per hour, essentially, which is half of Pandora's Flight of Passage. Yeah. Or a fourth the amount of an old school ride like Pirates of the Caribbean. So the lines are going to be insane.
Even if they were double the amount of those other rides, they were going to be insane. What are they thinking?
Yeah.
Like, what are they thinking?
This is more from Jim. He says, initially they wanted real interaction. They wanted, depending on which of the 6 seats you were occupying inside the Millennium Falcon, your actions directly impact what happens, to the point where if you don't do your job and the Millennium Falcon crashes, your ride is over. That was the initial concept for this ride. Can you imagine waiting 3 hours?
Dude, there'd be so many fights.
And then 30 seconds later, some 5-year-old kid smashes into a planet, and you're like, "Oh, sorry, boys, ride's over. Moveset Sai should have told you." Right. Like, it's over. Then you're done.
I'm not saying you should punch a kid.
And then apparently, what happens? And we've kind of talked about it before. Star Wars Land. It's all interactive, and they're working on the way you interact with the characters and what happens in that park affects your personal storyline for that day. So apparently even what happens in this ride can affect what your storyline is. So if you crash the ship, that's your storyline. So imagine being with 5 other people that you don't know, a single rider, or like you and I go and then we get stuck with 4 other people.
Right.
And we troll them and we crash their ship.
Oh, dude.
And we screw up. Their storyline is ruined.
Yeah.
And so that's part of the problem that they're trying to go through is how to fix that.
Don't do that.
Just don't do that.
Stop
do
it.
that.
Stop it.
Have it be like Star Tours.
Yeah.
That's, I think, what they're exactly trying to not do. But it's like you literally built another Star Tours. Just go with it. Like,
but it doesn't fit in with that theme of interaction and whatever happens. Or just don't wait. I imagine every interaction has a different weight class to it, so just don't weight the Millennium Falcon interaction as high.
Right.
yeah.
I agree.
Last but not least on the news tour here, Oga's Cantina is coming to Star Wars Galaxy Edge, or otherwise known as Star Wars Land, which they don't really want to admit. Apparently, the rumor is, and Disney hasn't addressed this yet, but it's all over the media, it will serve alcoholic drinks for the first time in Disneyland's history, except, private functions and Club 33 and blah, blah, blah. And I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't like it.
It's only going to be consumed in the cantina, apparently. You can't leave, and I didn't know that. You can't walk around. You can't wait for Mr. Toad's Wild Ride with a 6-ounce Corona or whatever. But
I was very upset when I first heard it. My coworker told me, and he's always trying to make fun of me about Disneyland, and so I was like, "No, that's just a rumor. Just shut up."
I'm an expert.
And then I Googled it, and I was like, "Oh no." But as the day progressed, I think I'm okay with it because otherwise the cantina would be super lame, to be honest.
Well, maybe. So here's the write-up from Star Wars, or from Disneyland. Visitors come to this notorious watering hole to unwind, conduct shady business, and maybe even encounter a friend or a foe. Run by an intriguing alien proprietor, Oga Gara, the cantina adheres to a strict code of conduct that tries to keep its unruly patrons in check. But with a history of being a smuggler's safe haven and a popular stopping point for those seeking to avoid the authorities, you can bet the cantina has a story or two to tell. So it's going to be a very interactive hub.
Right.
So I think that's probably why people would go more to the cantina. I don't think you need to sell booze there. It's cool, I guess, but you don't need it.
Just think about this, all right? Let's take a step back, and let's think about the entirety of what's going to be happening in this land, right?
Yeah.
You have an area in the land that's selling alcohol. You can't leave with the alcohol. You have to stay there with the alcohol, meaning the people are probably going to stay longer and drink more alcohol because they want to get their experience worth.
Right.
Then you have people who are going to leave that and possibly go to a ride with where what they do on the ride affects their entire. So now you have drunk drivers on the Millennium Falcon that are going to crash it, and then you're going to have some stormtrooper talk mess to them because they crashed the Millennium Falcon, and now you have a fight.
Talking mess. You talking mess to me?
Right?
Armor friend?
Just is a bad idea.
I agree.
Yeah, it's a really bad idea now that you put it that way.
I agree. Apparently, there's musical entertainment provided courtesy of RX-24, the former Starspeeder 3000 pilot droid we first met in Star Tours, who has revisioned himself as the Cantina's DJ. Patrons of the Cantina come from across the galaxy to sample the famous concoctions created with exotic ingredients, served in unique vessels. So we'll probably get some mugs out of that, with choices for kids and libations for adults. Yeah, I disagree. I mean, I agree. I dislike that. I don't think that's a good choice. I don't think it's a good choice.
I agree.
it doesn't matter because we're never going to be able to go there because if there's a line at Carthay, there's going to be a line all the way to the front gates for this thing.
Oh, for sure. I don't expect to go to Star Wars Land for 2 years.
Yeah.
For sure.
If that. And even then, maybe you can get in and walk around, but some of the attractions, there's literally no way. So don't hold your breath, folks.
I agree.
Yeah.
I know they're going to do some pass holder stuff before the general public, so if you're a pass holder at that time, that's cool.
Yeah.
You might get in, but you're still going to be waiting a couple of hours, I would guess.
I know, and that's the only place that has the John. So if you want the John, you got to go there for the John and drink the John inside the John.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's just ridiculous.
I feel you, bro. I feel you. Why is there no playback about? There we go. All right. Back to the show, and then we're out of here. This is a little quote from an interview with Walt Disney in 1947 from New York Magazine. Walt says, I've always done the mouse's talking. And in the parentheses, the author says, he never calls Mickey by his first name. He always says the mouse, just as Donald is the duck. Okay. Walt goes on and says, he's a shy little feller, so I provide the voice. I use a falsetto like this. And he demonstrated, apparently. His voice changed after I had my tonsils out. It became a little deeper, but no one noticed it. I kind of like it better. Sometimes I'm sorry I even started the voice. It takes a lot of time, and I feel silly doing the mouse in front of the sound crew, but I'm sentimental about him, I guess, and it wouldn't be the same if anyone else did the speaking.
All right.
Kind of a nice little quote. I thought it was funny that it was called the mouse.
Yeah,
just calls him the
that's
mouse.
cute. I like it.
It's a little more familiar. Okay, everybody, thank you a lot for tuning into the show. Thanks to Jeremy for doing all the Johns on the John. It was very nice of you. And then thanks to GetAwayToday.com for sponsoring today's episode. Whether you're traveling to Disneyland, Disney World, or beyond, head to GetAwayToday.com/earsup. If you are listening live, and honestly, why wouldn't you? We're going to be doing the secret show here in, 15 minutes. That'll give me time to set the John up and post in Patreon for the live show. In case you didn't know, we do this live, the secret show. We do it live, so there's a chat room on YouTube so you guys can all interact and talk, and I think that's fun. People seem to like it, so we'll keep doing it. And if you hate it, then we'll do something else. All right, everybody, thanks a lot for tuning in, and until next time, possibly November, we'll see you in the parks.